Hello, my name is Darren Thomas and I am the Director of Educational Research Techniques. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at some classroom management ideas, focused mainly on new teachers, maybe on experienced teachers who want a refresher, and that's what we're going to be covering. So let's go ahead and see what we can learn. So we're going to be looking at 4 different strategies that you can use as a teacher to improve your classroom management so that your students are less likely to misbehave or are able to get back on track much faster. So the 4 strategies that we will be looking at are setting routines, rehearsing transitions, anticipating behavior, and of course, nonverbal cues. Now, when we're talking about routines, we're talking about setting down habits in your classroom for things that students must always do, whether it's turning in assignments in a certain place, going outside at a certain time, coming in at a certain time, which we'll be focusing more on that in a minute, sitting in a certain area, working with certain people, etc. These are all routines. Every teacher has their own preference for routines. But the beauty of routines is once they are established and set in place, they help to regulate behavior because students are able to anticipate what they are supposed to be doing. When students do not know what they are supposed to be doing, they find something to do. So if you are setting up routines in which they know, I do this at this time, I do that at that time, I go over here at this moment, students are able to guide themselves and even guide each other about what needs to be done at that particular moment. There are 3 things you have to do when you are trying to establish routines. If you look at the second bullet, it says right there, explain. What exactly is it you want them to do? Next, you have to demonstrate. They have to see it with their eyes. So in step 1, you're kind of doing things in a theoretical manner, which is not really beneficial for students. Second, you want to demonstrate it. In other words, you show them how to do it. This is where they are able to see it. And lastly, they need to practice it. They need to do it themselves. By sharing your routines through these 3 avenues, you are reaching them in 3 different ways. So for the more verbal, they get it through explanation. For those who like to learn through seeing, they are able to appreciate it through demonstrating. For those who need to learn by moving, kinesthetic learners, they learn how to do these things through practice. And you are reinforcing it from these 3 different angles. That is the reason why we explain, demonstrate, and practice. The next one is transitions. Transitions happen when students are moving from one activity to another. And this is where a lot of the chaos in a classroom takes place. It could be coming in from the playground, coming inside. Of course, they're noisy, they're out of control. It could be going from the classroom to the library. Again, another transition, going to be problems. It could be moving from science to math or math to history, whatever. When students have to move from one activity to another, there is a huge opportunity for chaos and classroom disruptions. So if you look at these pictures, you can see these kids here are transitioning. These kids are down here in the library. They're going to be going back to their classroom soon in the lower left-hand corner. And these guys over here are messing around on this little tricycle. In order to have success with your students when it comes to transitions, you need to practice moving from one activity to another. This is a specific type of routine, if you will, in which you have to support your students in learning how to move from different experiences, different situations in a way that they can do so in a peaceful and calm manner. Because when the parts start moving, the chaos begins. Our third one is anticipation. And so what we mean by anticipation is being able to see something that's going to happen before it happens. If you look at this word right here, and this is a term that you will find in classroom management textbooks, it's called with-itness. It's like having eyes in the back of your head, being able to see what is going to happen without seeing it directly with your own eyes, if you will, at sometimes. So if you look at the picture off to the right, we have a picture of a quarterback. In many ways, you could consider the teacher the quarterback of the classroom. And of course, they have to be able to scan the entire field and they have to anticipate. They have to throw the ball, if you will, before the player is open, anticipating that he will beat the man. If you wait until they're open, it might be too late. And of course, with the tiger over here in the left, you can see that he has to be able to take advantage of situations as they present themselves. And he has to be aware of things without always being able to see them at times. just, using his nose or his smell or whatever as a hunter. So as a teacher, you are a leader, and you are also, if you will, a predator, trying to prevent or devour misbehavior before it has a chance to grow and to multiply. Our last one here is nonverbal cues. So basically, the purpose behind nonverbal cues is to be able to command your class without using your voice. For those of you who are teachers, which this video is for you, you know the tremendous strain that teaching has on your voice. Having to spend hours every day commanding children, having to raise your voice, maybe not in anger, but just to project, this can take a strain on your voice. And so if you can find ways to motivate and move students without using your voice, you are saving a tremendous amount of energy and strain on your own physical being. So this involves developing commands for the students in which they know what to do without you saying something. So, for example, if you want them to be quiet, the classic sign is to put your hand or put one of your fingers over your lips and to make a shh sound, if you will. That is one example of how you are able to quiet them down without having to use your voice. Another way to get them to be quiet is to raise your hand in the air and hold it up. Again, this is a very commonly used strategy by many different teachers in order to get control over the students. The point here is not to tell you which type of nonverbal commands or cues you would like to use, but to make you aware of the possibilities that can be won from this strategy if you incorporate it into your classroom for commands that are important for you. So to wrap up this video, we talked about these 4 strategies that can be used to help to manage your classroom as a teacher: setting routines, rehearsing transitions, anticipating behaviors, and of course, nonverbal cues. Any of these or all of these can help you as a teacher to be able to handle and to manage the rowdiness of your students, if you will. So I would like to thank you for watching. My name is Darren Thomas. I am the Director of Educational Research Techniques. You take care.